That's good, we're live. Right on. So, a year or two ago, I was pulling up to a crosswalk in my car, and there was a guy on the crosswalk. He was starting to make his way across, and then it was obviously right on red for me. So I take my car, and he probably gets like 3 or 4 feet away, and I'll admit, it was a bit close, but it was nothing crazy. I'm pulling my car out, and then whoosh, I just go right on out. And this dude thought it was so close that he literally turned at my car, and he looks at me and he goes, "Ah!" He just screams, like full on, like in the middle of an intersection. And I looked at in my rearview mirror and started dying laughing because of this guy's reaction, because it wasn't even remotely close. But the point of this video is actually about Buddhism, attachment, and suffering. And the Buddhists believe that attachment is one of the core precepts of suffering. They believe that when you're really attached to something, that it can create a lot of suffering around it. And I think Americans driving on roads is literally the perfect example of this. Because the first thought I had when this guy screamed at me at the top of his lungs in the middle of an intersection was, you wouldn't survive a day in Thailand. Because when I went over there and lived for like 6 months, I was driving a moped every day, and the amount of close encounters you have with semi-trucks, with tourists on their super bikes, with even locals. I mean, the locals are generally pretty chill, but the amount of close calls you have in Thailand on a moped is insane. And I'd like to say I'm a chill driver before, but driving over there really chilled me out. And what I learned about Thailand, which is a Buddhist nation, and also about myself, is through exposure therapy of close encounters, I realized there's no reason to react on the road at all. And the Thai people feel the same way. The Thai people are some of the chillest people on earth. And one of the fundamental core beliefs that a lot of the Thai people have is this idea of reducing attachment. And I think the road is a perfect example, because I go, oh, you know, this American guy that yelled at me, he wouldn't last a day in Thailand. Well, the reality is he would last multiple days, and over the course of driving in Thailand, the exposure would actually reduce his attachment to freaking out on the road. And then what I believe is he would probably come back to the States, and when he's driving, probably not be as attached to these extreme, aggressive, egoic, bodily reactions on the road. So also, I used to be really into cars, and I had a Subaru WRX, and there was a sticker I had. It goes, "But did you die?" And obviously I'm not driving like a maniac, but I do think it is pretty relevant in this situation, because obviously I didn't hit that guy. And the question may arise, well, but did you die? And if you didn't die, and if you're unscathed, what's the point in freaking the fuck out? What is the point in having road rage at all? Especially after Thailand, if somebody cuts me off on the road, even if it's super close, I literally don't care. Because did I die? No. Did they hit my car? No. What's the point of freaking out? And it comes back to the idea of attachment, because I'm simply not ego-driven. I'm not egoically attached to my identity of driving on the road. I'm not egoically attached to my car in the sense that I have to defend myself on the road or assert dominance over others with my car. And my friend Jax brought this up, is that driving is a perfect example of the ego at play today. And the amount of high energy interactions we have on the road, high risk interactions we have on the road, is unparalleled to anything else that we will do in our lives. Because when you're going on the freeway at 80 plus miles an hour with thousands of other strangers, it is actually a tense environment. But if you're able to be detached and able to lower your cortisol through this concept of exposure therapy and exposure conditioning, or maybe you simply weren't ever attached to the idea at all that it's beneficial to be egoically driving on the road and raging at everybody, then you already know. It's all a function of the mind. And I think this applies to all areas of life, is that attachment and suffering go hand in hand. And that's why Buddhism is so focused on it. Become a human again. Become a human again. Become a human again. Become a human again.